of you literally need to do a money dance. It's in each moment appreciating what is the fruit of your labor. We are looking at celebrations. Before we get started today, I want to take a moment to acknowledge that this is a difficult and dark time in the world for many of us right now. And I am coming into all of these readings with that understanding and awareness. And nothing that is shared here is intended to mitigate whatever else might be going on in your life at the moment. I see tarot as a way to empower oneself to be able to see things more clearly and know exactly where to take action when maybe the next best step isn't so clear. So with that, we will get into our readings for this month. Thank you. Leo, welcome to your March reading. Let's get started.
As always, we'll be using our classic Mystic Compass spread, starting here at the north. This card will represent the area of your life that has to do with housing, finances, career, etc. And then we've got an action item to follow. Over here to the east, we've got our thoughts, mindset, focus, dreams, as well as an action item to complement. Down here at the south, we've got our passions, our belief systems, anything that gets us really fired up, that gets us going, and our motivation, as well as a corresponding action item. Over here to the west, we've got our feelings and emotions, anything that is touching us in a deep emotional way, as well as an action item that corresponds. Finally, we've got one card in the center to tie everything together to show us what exactly we are looking at as the main point of the reading of this month and how everything is interconnected.
In the north, we've got Judgment. Some of you are needing to make very hard and fast decisions about your housing, your finances, your career. Now is the time to make decisions. Some of you have been waiting for a long time and sort of dilly-dallying and procrastinating. No more. This is the time to make decisions about what is coming next. You are being faced with decisions. And always remember that indecision is also a decision. So even if you are not making the decision and you think, oh, I'll just wait, and you keep delaying it, that is also a decision. And that is giving away your power of decision making to some other source that will eventually make the decision for you. So take control of your decision making. Let's see, what is your action item in this realm? Two of Pentacles. Leo, what is going on with you this month? This is interesting because this is sort of a money dance. Some of you may, I don't know why I said that, some of you literally need to do a money dance to invite more abundance into your life. Some of you are starting out with like very low level investing in stocks and things like that. If you're looking for a stocks program, I have an investing program affiliate link in the description below, so please look into that. I highly recommend. Everyone here, everyone who is not a billionaire needs to be investing in multiple income streams and starting out and start doing that if you haven't already. So that could be taking on an extra side gig, that could be investing in stocks, things like that. But here I'm seeing that that some of you have been thinking about taking those first steps, and this is your invitation to do that. So this isn't something brand new. This isn't something you've never thought of before, that's coming to you out of nowhere. This is something you already know. So we were just talking about making decisions. You have to make decisions. Here you need to make decisions about where you're putting your money. It could mean that you make that an empowered decision to move from one apartment to another, and maybe you're paying less rent by doing so. So maybe you're paying $1,000 a month right now, and you're able to find another place that is only $600 a month. It might not be in the exact location that you want, but you're able to then spend that $400 a month on something else like investing. So it's rearranging your expenses so that you are setting your future self up for success. I see so many opportunities for you, Leo, in that realm, but you have to make those decisions, okay? You have to be diligent about making the decision. So once a decision is made, you have to take it forward into your next actions. Also, your other people will be affected by your decisions. So if you have children, or if you have roommates or other people that you're living with or who depend on your income, they're also affected by your decisions around money. And you will be judged based on those decisions that you're making, and you have to really be clear with yourself and comfortable with yourself for making any decision that is necessary at this time. So some of you are going to make decisions that your family members don't understand or don't like, and or your friends, and that's just or society, and that's just something that you have to live with, as long as you're comfortable and you know, okay, I'm giving up my nice fancy apartment so that I can set my future self up for greater financial success. Things like that, okay? Alrighty, Leo, what is next? Over to the east, we are looking at the air element. So this is things of the mind, your dreams, thoughts, focus. Starting out over here with the Death card, there are certain thoughts that you need to let die. Let's see what your action item is, so that'll give us a little more info. Your action item is the 3 of Wands. So there are maybe projects that you've started that you haven't finished, and you've been thinking about them. Some of those, and maybe there's more than one. I'm getting the sense that there's more than one for a lot of you. So you need to decide which projects. We were just talking about judgment, and it still applies here. You need to decide which projects you're willing to move forward with and which ones you need to let go, so that you're no longer wasting time and brain energy and space on those things that you're letting go. So we're letting, it's where you're spending your brain power and where you're spending your time thinking that you need to be more diligent about. Sometimes we need to just let things die, and not every idea needs to come to fruition. Not every idea needs to turn into something else, okay? So you can let ideas go until you really settle on one that you can grow, that you have the resources and the desire. The desire is what I'm seeing more than anything, to help it grow. So really being honest with yourself about what thoughts and what ideas and what dreams need to die. That's a big one. Some of you Leos have dreams that came to you, or that you created when you were children, that you still haven't realized and made real, is what I mean by that, and that you haven't brought to life. And you need to make the decision now about whether your adult self still wants those same dreams, because we're talking about dreams that were invented by a child. or by a teenager. The human brain is not even fully developed until between the ages of 24 and 26. So adolescence is not over until between the ages of 24 and 26, biologically speaking. So a dream that came to you when you were 15 or 5 is not necessarily, or even 25, is not necessarily the same dream that's going to carry you forward at the age of 35, 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 105. So we need to be really diligent about what we're allowing to take up space in our minds and make the decision about, okay, I'm not thinking about this thing anymore. An old version of myself wanted this, but present me does not want this anymore. And you let it go. All right, let's see what we have down for you at the South, Leo. This is our fire element, our connection to spirit, goddess, God, the universe, cosmos, etc. We're starting it out with the Three of Cups. What a fun card. With this Three of Cups energy, we are looking at celebration. So there's something to be celebrated here. Maybe you recently found community, spiritual community, and you can celebrate that. Or maybe you recently found like your footing of a spiritual belief system that feels right to you. Maybe you grew up Jewish and now you found Hinduism and that feels more aligned. Or, maybe you grew up Christian and now you've found Islam and that feels more aligned. Whatever that thing is, you can celebrate that. That is, you're feeling spiritually fulfilled. This is a time, a moment to be in, to just enjoy what is. And let's see, what is your action item here? The Moon card. So with this Moon card, we are reminded of cycles. Everything is cyclical. And we're also reminded of reciprocity. So whenever you are given something, you must learn to give in the future. But back to this idea of cycles. While there is a time for celebration, eventually the celebration ends. Okay, we can't celebrate every single day. We can celebrate every single day, but we also have to put in the work to keep advancing, to advance our souls onto the next level of what is to come. And so it's yes, celebrating, but also giving gratitude for the people that are around to celebrate with you, because you're not in celebration alone. And maybe this is like a group effort, and it doesn't have to be a religious group like I was mentioning earlier. It can also just be people gathering for a common cause for which they're passionate. So it could be a local, maybe you're in a local political activist group. Maybe you're working, we're in a primary election season. And perhaps you're working with a certain political group and your candidate advances to the next election, or your candidate does end up becoming elected and you're celebrating for that reason. It could be something like that as well. But remembering that there are cycles. And the other thing that the Moon card is reminding us of is the emotional part of the celebration. It's not just the mental thought and remembrance of what has occurred. It's also the feeling. So really feel in your soul what it's like to win, what it's like to accomplish something, and just allow it. And also feel the vastness of what exists in the cosmos that has brought you to this exact moment of celebration. And feel yourself as one tiny part of the greater whole. Alrighty, Leo, let's see what's next. Over to the west with our element of water. looking at our emotions and feelings. We have the 9 of Wands. Interesting. We've got our Wands and our Cups flipped over here with the cards that have come out for you so far. So there's something going on emotionally. Some of you are in a depression, and feeling very alone, feeling lonely. So we were just talking about this celebration. So there's sort of this like crux of feeling like multiple things all at once, or maybe in certain moments you're feeling like you're really part of something, and you're feeling involved with others, and then other moments you're feeling very alone and by yourself. And there are positive moments in that aloneness. You know, I can see it with the growth of projects and ideas and ideas and dreams that you're letting grow. And I can see it with making new money moves and advancing yourself and seeing what's next for you. But then there's also this like darkness here, and maybe you're feeling like you're not doing enough, or like maybe you're feeling inadequate, or feeling uncertain, and that's what's causing this depression. Let's see what your action item is here to get you out of that. 8 of Pentacles. So we've got more Pentacles coming out for you, Leo. Put yourself into your work. And I know that maybe you don't want to hear that for those of you that are feeling this sense of depression or uncertainty. But putting yourself into the labor of your work is going to help you through this. And doing a good quality job, not just showing up and saying, okay, I'm here and I did my work for the day and it's done. It's in each moment appreciating what is the fruit of your labor. So if you work in a law firm, for example, you might be tempted to just move through cases quickly and not prepare the cases as unique and individual moments in time and individual experiences. But each client has a story. Each case has a story. Each client and each case have multiple stories, actually. So this is really looking at how you can take extra time to appreciate, even just a few seconds, to appreciate the detail that is there, the story of the client that brought them to you in the first place, or the story that is laying out in front of you in this case. It's also maybe you create floral arrangements, and sure, you could just throw a bunch of flowers together, but there's the detail in the flowers and in which flowers are selected for the arrangement, and noticing that detail. So it's combining hard work with being detail oriented, no matter what is your trade or profession. If you're arranging the flowers, maybe instead of just plopping one stem into the vase, it's requiring just turning the flower just 10 degrees this way so that a certain petal appears more vibrant than it did when it was turned 10 degrees the other way. It's things like that I'm referring to here, and taking time to notice and appreciate details and do good work. Do your work honestly, and in a way that you can be proud of and a way that others can be proud of. Alrighty, Leo, one more card to draw it all together. Let's see what's going on for you overall in general this month. Queen of Swords. Already, again, this is interesting because this is almost a lower level of this Judgment card that we started with, where we're needing to make certain decisions from a place of feeling, but also balancing that with a place of mindset. And we need to cut certain things out of our lives. And when we cut certain things or people or any activity that's taking our time out of our lives, there can come a sadness with that, because it means that we're losing something. So there's a grieving process. We also earlier were talking about death, the Death card, and that's also releasing something. There is, and we just recently had this card showing this like depression and solitude and loneliness. So a lot of you are grieving, is what I'm actually seeing here. And that's okay. You can take your time to grieve. And it could be you're grieving something very personal, maybe the loss of someone or a person or a pet that was close to you. Maybe you're just grieving at the general state of the world, because I absolutely understand that. But whatever it is, there is a way through, and you are able to still celebrate. So we were talking about that celebration. When you take a moment to celebrate, that doesn't detract from the grief or make it obsolete. You can be grieving and still enjoy certain moments in your life. And that's important to acknowledge the duality of what exists, because we can feel more than one thing at once as humans. And that's a complicated concept for a lot of people, but it is one that I've experienced and one that I know many other people also have experienced. And it's okay to not have a clear footing on solid ground, but still take steps towards what that clear footing on solid ground would feel like, and would be, and how that would be experienced. And I hope to see you all in the comments. Please like, share, comment below. Check out your sun, moon, rising, and Venus signs for a fuller picture of what is in store for you this month. Thank you. Bye.